Your grandmother probably slept next to radioactive material every single night. Your grandfather drove home from the pub completely drunk and nobody blinked. And that pickled egg you grabbed, it was literally preserved with rat poison. Welcome to 1950s Britain, where things that would land you in prison today were completely normal. I'm about to show you 15 shocking things that were perfectly legal in the 50s but would get you arrested today. Hit that subscribe button because this is going to blow your mind. If you grew up in 1950s Britain, you probably had a Westclox alarm clock on your nightstand. Over 50 million were made in Scotland. They glowed in the dark thanks to radium paint. Yes, radioactive material. Today, some of those old clocks can still trip a Geiger counter. Now it's completely illegal. Strict radiation laws ban radium in consumer products. We thought we were buying modern technology. Turns out we were sleeping next to literal radioactive material, those pickled eggs and onions in pub jars back in the 50s. Many were preserved with boric acid, the same chemical used in roach killers today. It wasn't illegal. It was common practice. No nutrition labels. No ingredient lists. Just glass jars and a dash of something you definitely wouldn't want in your lunch. Long-term exposure could cause organ damage. Today, boric acid in food is completely banned in the UK, but back then, totally legal. In the 1950s, leaving school at 15 wasn't rebellious. It was standard. You finished your final year and started work on Monday morning. The school leaving age didn't rise to 16 until 1972, then in 2013. The law required teenagers to remain in education or training until 18. Today, leaving school at 15 is considered truancy with serious penalties. In the 1950s, owning a handgun in the UK was perfectly legal. People used them for sport, collections, and personal security. The major turning point came in 1996 after the Dunblane massacre, where 16 children and a teacher were killed. The Firearms Amendment Act of 1997 banned private handgun ownership entirely. Today, possessing an illegal handgun carries up to 10 years in prison. Remember those little sweetener tablets people popped into their tea? Cyclamate was the go-to option, marketed heavily to diabetics and praised as the miracle sugar substitute. But studies in the late 1960s suggested it might cause cancer in rats. By 1969, bans started rolling in. The US pulled it completely. Today, cyclamate remains banned in several countries. Fox hunting with hounds was a mainstay of rural British life in the 50s, considered part sport, part pest control. After decades of protests, the Hunting Act 2000 forbade hunting wild mammals with dogs in England and Wales. Scotland banned it in 2002. Today, fox hunting is completely illegal. Offenders can be fined or prosecuted. Mink farming began in the UK in the 1920s and peaked in the 1950s with over 400 registered fur farms. As societal views shifted, campaigns focused on animal cruelty gained momentum. In 2000, the UK banned mink farming through the Fur Farming Prohibition Act. Today, it's illegal to breed animals specifically for fur. Synthetic furs have largely replaced real fur in mainstream fashion. Sudan dyes, synthetic colorants used in shoe polish and motor oil were illegally added to foods like chili powder and sauces to give them bold red color. From the 50s to 70s, some sellers used them in unregulated products. Studies linked Sudan dyes to cancer risks and liver issues. In 2003, a major scandal erupted when they were found in chili products across Europe. Today, Sudan dyes are completely banned in food. Before 2005, fresh magic mushrooms weren't classified as illegal in Britain. The law only banned dried or processed versions. You could pick Liberty caps and carry them legally. But the Drugs Act 2005 made both fresh and prepared mushrooms illegal as class of drugs. Possession can lead to 7 years in prison. Supplying them carries life imprisonment. In the 1950s, discrimination wasn't just legal, it was expected. Employers could reject someone for being black. Landlords could refuse Irish tenants. You could be arrested for being gay. The Race Relations Act of 1965 was the first attempt at anti-discrimination legislation. Real change came in the 70s with the Sex Discrimination Act 1975. What was completely legal in the 50s is now a criminal offense back in the 50s. Drinking and driving was a cultural norm. No legal alcohol limit, no breathalyzer, no clear line. Britain introduced an actual blood alcohol limit in 1967. The breathalyzer came in 1968, but drink driving stayed common well into the 80s. Today, even a small amount of alcohol could land you a fine. Driving ban or jail time. Factories with no fire exits. Construction sites with no helmets. That was working life in the 1950s. In 1950, 80 miners died at Cresswell Colliery when escape routes failed. In 1968, 22 factory workers died in Glasgow when padlocked doors turned a fire into a death trap. The Health and Safety at Work Act 1974 introduced fundamental workplace laws. Today, noncompliance can result in massive fines and imprisonment. In 1950s Britain, corporal punishment like caning and smacking was routine in schools. Legal, widely accepted, and considered normal. The Education Act of 1986 banned it in state schools. A complete ban was enacted across the UK by 1998. Today, teachers are legally prohibited from using any physical punishment. Violations can result in dismissal and criminal charges. In the 50s, seatbelts weren't even part of the car. They were optional and definitely not required by law. The first seatbelt laws didn't come until 1983 for front seats. Rear seat laws followed in 1991. Kids rolled around in the back seat and drivers lit cigarettes with both hands off the wheel. Today, not wearing a seatbelt and cigarettes were absolutely everywhere in the 50s, on buses, in cinemas, at dinner tables. Office meetings had ashtrays built into tables. Doctors smoked between appointments. In 2007, the UK banned smoking in enclosed public places under the Health Act 2006. In the 50s, nearly 80% of men smoked regularly. Today it's just 13%, so there you have it. 15 things that were completely illegal in 1950s Britain but would get you arrested today. From radioactive clocks to poison pickles, from drunk driving to beating kids in school, the 50s were a completely different world. What shocked you the most? Drop a comment below. If you enjoyed this trip back in time, smash that like button and subscribe because we're diving into more forgotten history. Until next time, be grateful you weren't born in the 1950s. Things were wild back then.